Hey everyone, welcome to Hope Week, day one. My name's Luke Martin, and together with my wife Beth, we lead Empower Christian Church. Welcome to our yellow room. It's very yellow. Also doubles as our office. We've been doing a lot of work here during stage 3 and stage 4 restrictions. Stage 4 restrictions, hey, they're being extended, and that's probably got us feeling a little bit flat at the moment, and we get that absolutely. But we at Empower Christian Church wanted to bring a perspective shift for the weeks ahead. Instead of feeling flat about more restrictions, what we want to do is we want to share stories that bring us hope. That's why we call this Hope Week. So during this week, we're going to hear different ministers in our church share a devotional each day. But also we want to encourage you, share your stories, your testimonies of God's goodness, your stories of just positive things that have happened. Maybe a time you've helped a neighbor, a neighbor's helped you, whatever it is. We want to hear stories that bring hope this week. And really, I want to start with that place in today's devotional of a perspective shift. Shifting our perspective away from the fear and the negativity of things to a place where we see it. This season, we see what we're going through as God sees it. We see the potential and the opportunity that's in this season, which is the way that God sees it. So I'm going to read from the book of Philippians, chapter 1, verses 12 to 14. Follow me with this, and then we're going to dig some gold out of it. It says this: I want you to know, my friends, that the things that have happened to me have really helped the progress, there's a key word, progress, of the gospel. As a result, the whole palace guard and all the others here know that I am in prison because I am a servant of Christ. So Paul here is writing to the church in Philippi, and he's writing from prison. But even though he's in prison, he is looking for ways for progress. His focus is on progress. That's what it says in verse 12. He's focused on the process. And so we really want to ask ourselves that question: do we see stage 4 restrictions as a prison, or do we see them for the possibility of progress? To make it more simple, is it prison or is it progress? I was in a prayer meeting just the other day, and as we were praying about this subject. And as we were praying into the situation, I got this picture, and the picture was a funny one. It was me in prison, so that's hilarious, but it was me in prison, and I was buff. Like, I was super strong. I was muscles on my muscles, and I thought I looked pretty good in my picture in my head. And I was just like, God, what are you talking about? And I felt like he was saying to me, that challenge to me, that perspective shift is, hey, this is the time for you to apply yourself when it comes to fitness. Apply yourself when it comes to working out, eating better, doing all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, I take that challenge on. There is a perspective shift in me seeing the progress, the possibility of progress for this season. So I want to ask you, what is it for you that God's tapping you on the shoulder about? What is it that you can do differently in this season? What are the possibilities of progress in this season for you? Maybe it's an artistic endeavor. Maybe it's music. Maybe it's writing. Maybe you've got a book in you. Maybe it's a new business, something you've never thought of before, or something you've been sitting on for years. Maybe it is work, but maybe it's family. Maybe it's spending more time with your kids, with your loved ones, with your parents, with your siblings, with your wife, with your husband, whoever it is. Maybe it's time for doing that kind of stuff. But whatever it is, I feel like God right now is tapping you on the shoulder saying, hey, this season is about progress in this area. It's about you stepping forward, getting more stuff out of this area. And it really is that perspective shift, not seeing this season as the prison, but seeing this season for the potential of progress in those areas. Before I go, I want to share with you some words from a social media a person, not someone who I would normally quote, but her name's Leslie Dwight, and she shared these words earlier in the year, and they were just absolutely profound. And so I wanted to share them with you just as we close to encourage you. And she said this about 2020. She said, what if 2020 isn't cancelled? What if 2020 is the year we've been waiting for? A year so uncomfortable, so painful, so scary, so raw that it finally forces us to grow. A year that screams so loud, finally awakening us from our ignorant slumber. A year we finally accept the need for change, declare change, work for change, become the change. A year we finally band together instead of pushing each other further apart. 2020 isn't cancelled, but rather the most important year of them all. Now that's a perspective change. I hope you're encouraged by that today, and we'll see you more times during this week. Remember, share your stories of hope, share your stories of good news, share your stories of God's testimony, hashtag Hope Week. Remember to tag Empower Christian Church in it, and we look forward to hearing your stories during this week. Bye, everyone.